Hi everyone, this video is to go over Blackboard in general and then how our specific class page is set up. So what you see right here is what you see whenever you open your screen, and when you open your screen in the center a list of your courses. So my courses are different than yours, but these are your courses in the center. Before we look at the course itself, I'd like to go to the left and talk about some important items. The first one is browser check. At the start of every semester, you should click on browser check for your computer to see if you're up to date. And that did not work. There we go. I'm in Firefox and I'm normally not, so that could be part of the problem. So this tells you how you go about checking everything. And the most important item on this page, in my opinion, is this item right here that says run the browser checker. So when I click on that, what it actually does is it checks what I'm using and tells me what problems might exist. So right here it says that Firefox is up to date. My browser cookies are enabled, which is good. There's a pop-up blocker enabled, which is right there. And so I've now enabled my pop-up block. My Java is not enabled, which is a problem. I need to enable that. This is not supported in Firefox. And like I said, normally I'm in Google Chrome. And Shockwave is not installed correctly. So right here, the Java is one thing I need to fix, and I've already fixed the pop-up blocker. So what happens if you ever have any problems in a course, whether it's this course or any course you're taking, you should go to the browser checker and run the browser check to see what's wrong. And just to remind you, that is found, back one more page, whoops. That is found on the left-hand side. Even there are times that you can see certain things in a discussion board. If there's anything wrong, always do the browser check first. And then if you need help, then ask for help. The other thing I want to show you is the calendar. Except right here, Blackboard support, like if that browser check doesn't work, then you come down here and you get help down here. But here's the calendar, and this calendar is very important because every one of your teachers who puts your assignments in Blackboard, the calendar shows you what's due. And you can change the color. So I always choose the colors I like. Your class is blue. This is Women's Health, it's green. So you can see if this were your calendar, all your courses would show here. So you can see when all your assignments are due. Your tests will not show up until they're active. So when I go to September, and the only one in here right now is Unit 1, here's all the due dates for your class. And right here, it should say that your test opens, and here it should say your test closes. But until the test opens, it won't appear on your calendar. But this calendar is really important because it should help you do some planning as to what's happening and when things are due for all of your classes. If your instructor does not if the instructor does not collect your assignments in Blackboard, then they won't be on this page. So let's go back and we're going to look at our Blackboard page, and I just want to go over the way it's laid out. I'm not going to go over it in detail, but here we are in the fall, and here's your course. And I am in teacher mode, so you're going to see some things on this page that you might not normally see. But I want to stay in teacher mode because there's things I want to show you. So when you open it, the first thing you come to is announcements, and there are only a few announcements that you can see right now, and there's probably 3 or 4 that you can see. And as announcements become open, then you'll see more announcements. So your announcements are always here because the course is either partially or totally online. There's going to be times that I do a weekly or an announcement every other week just to remind you of what's coming up. So that's here. The first announcement, let's see. This is where I'm going to go to student mode. Hold on. I'm entering what you see now, so we don't have to scroll through all those announcements. So here so far we have a hello, how the course is going to run. We have APA citations for you, needs assessment page guidelines. I'm not really sure why that's opened already. How to cite electronic documents. If I say something's not submitted and it is, this tells you the 3 ways that you have to prove that it was submitted. And there will be another announcement that I will post as soon as I get off that will tell you where to get all of your information. And so what it'll say is, welcome to the class, and you need to now go to information to pick up your syllabus. I'm going back to teacher mode. Excuse me. All right, so that's the announcements. When you go to the information page, there's some important items. We're going to primarily use Blackboard Collaborate. I don't think we're going to use Zoom, and it has to do with your group rooms that I'll show you shortly. So Blackboard Collaborate, this is where our lectures are going to be when we have lectures. And if we don't have lectures, this is still where we're going to meet because these are where your rooms are. So when you go into Blackboard Collaborate, if you've never been in here, make sure you go in. What happens is this is our course room. So when you go into Blackboard Collaborate, this is the room you will enter for our class. I will be adding sessions for each one of your groups. So for example, if I do this right now, group 01, and I start it today and I end it in December, you will see this is group 1. And so now group 1 has a room. And group 1, if I ever say group 1, go to your room, this is where you go. All of your groups will have rooms here when the class starts. So we will always start here if it's a lecture, if it's an official class. Sometimes during class you'll break out into small groups and you'll go to your group room. Sometimes you'll just report directly to your group room, and that'll be clear as we're going forward. I am requiring you to meet in these rooms the days that we have scheduled class. So if it is a Friday and we're not having official class and I have you assigned to meet in your groups, this is where I want you to be. I don't want you anyplace else because I want to stop by and see how you're doing on your work. So let's go back to information real fast. So you will find information, the Blackboard page here. This is the final syllabus. These are drafts, and I've already found some issues I need to fix. So I will date whatever date it is that they're posted, the final ones. But right now, you see it says final draft. These are places you can go for help. And then you will actually see things in here that are important for your health fairs. And right now, we're going to make it unavailable because there's nothing in there related to your health fair. So this is it. And something else that's very important that's been added is when I'm recording a lesson for our class, you are not allowed to copy, duplicate, or share it with others. And that policy is put into place to respect privacy of your peers. You will be referred to student affairs if I catch you doing that. It's just not acceptable. All the lectures are already videotaped, so you don't need to share anything here. All right, so that's information. When you go to the content section is broken into units, and probably this is the only unit you can see. For each unit, it tells you what's due and what day it's due. So this is a reminder for you of what's happening each week. When you go into the unit, it's listed in the exact order in which you need to do it. So here is your required pre-class assignment. You're required to do this one. This is optional. You do not see all these little notes here. This is because I'm the teacher, and it's telling me things about what's posted. Then here's a pretest you have to take, and it will post. I'm going to change that right now. It should post. That's okay. You can post now. That's fine. It's posted now if you wanted to take it early. You get 90 minutes to take it. It's 75 questions. So those are the first preliminary assignments. Then each lesson is listed. And what's very important is if there are substantial things inside here to do, there is a summary for you to look at. So the summary to look at will tell you what has to happen. Sometimes people put this in, let me open, here we go, in a different format. I put it in a Word document because some people like to open this and check off what they've done. And sometimes people like to print it out and check off what they've done. If I put it only in Blackboard, which some people do, then it's much more difficult for you to check off as you accomplish each thing. So when you open the course summary, whatever this is, the summary for each unit, it tells you what's going to happen in the unit, what objectives we're going to cover, and all of that. So for each unit, when you open it to the class, it has exactly what's going to happen. So this is the unit you're in now. I'm in the process of redoing your videos. It has a reading assignment, an introduction assignment, and then this is where you submit your group ground rules. And so that's what's in lesson 1. And every unit is set up the same way. Let me go back. Every unit's set up the same way, and within the unit there are lessons. So in this unit, which is 2 weeks long, there are 7 lessons. Okay? And then these are all the assignments. The green are group assignments and the red are different assignments. Okay? So we'll look at that when we go over the syllabus in more detail. Back to content. So you can probably only see unit 1, but there is a unit 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm in the process of changing due dates, and so it does not make sense for me to open these up until I get all the dates changed and I change some assignments around that have changed. So that's where you find your content, and there are times during the semester where you have to go to discussions and the discussion boards are already set up. I have to add one more discussion board at the top. But for example, this is, you work in smaller groups and you post things that you're going to need for your assignments. And there's 3 main discussion boards, and then there's one that I'll post that isn't up here yet. So that's everything here. That's how the class is laid out. If you want to send emails or you want to see who's in the class, if you go to Tools and you click on Send Email, and you have to click Select Users, you can see who's in the class if you want to actually see who's in here. Some people will be dropping, but you can actually see who's in the class. If you want to send an email, you actually have to click on the person and move them over. So if you want to send me an email, we're listed alphabetically, H-I-J, you have to move me over. If you don't move anybody over here, you're not going to find it. I would also recommend you send it to yourself. You should get a copy, but that way you can see what's going on. And so that's how you send email. You put whatever you want and you submit it. When you send an email through Blackboard, oftentimes you cannot respond back to the person. So just keep that in mind. So that's all I wanted to show you about our class. What I've showed you is announcements, which will be what appears the first whenever you open the class. The second thing is information. This is where our meeting room is for online classes, and this is where your meeting rooms are for your groups. Your syllabus is here, places to seek help, and then your information about your health fair will be here. In the content section, this is where you find your units, and inside each unit are lessons. At the front page of every unit, it tells you what's collected and what day it's due. Inside the unit, you have assignments that are due, and if there's a lesson, whatever document is here, it tells you exactly what's in that lesson and what you have to do. And then the other thing I showed you was discussions. So that's everything in our class. If you have any questions, make sure you ask. Otherwise, I don't know what your questions are. So hopefully that helps you understand the layout of our course and how everything works. And if you have a question, just make sure you ask.